Welcome back, my delinquents. We're going into this just raw again, straight into the case room because there is a lot happening. This is the update on the Vshojo case, aka everyone has left Vshojo. Every single person has left Vshojo, and I'm re-recording this video because I did it yesterday. It come out today, but some information came out, aka the announcement from Vshojo I have behind me right now, and it does change some of the information given in from the days prior, some more clarifications, as this does void NDAs, so we're going to get a lot more information about this. But I am going to go over the graduations, as in everyone that's left, who left previously, but I will give little tidbits like highlights of other people's graduations. I'm not going to go fully into it until they do their non-NDA announcements now. If you want more information, I will try and do more videos. Just let me know in the comments below if you want more of a breakdown of each person's reasons for leaving, but I don't want to make an hour video, so I won't be in this one. This one will be more about them leaving Vshojo, an abbreviation of what they've said so far, and the beginning of the sinking ship of Vshojo, which I think is a good start. So let's get into it. So first we're going to go into who has left Vshojo, because everyone has left Vshojo, and as everyone has been memeing, aka the community and almost the entire internet, Vshojo is the first VTuber talent agency without any VTubers. Accurate, as these have all announced. As we know, Ninus had already left 2023. Around there, she was the third to leave, I think, somewhere around that. Then we had Zentreya, who left in June. Ironmouse just left, as was the previous first video. Then Zentreya left in 2023 too, I think, around there. Project Melody has announced they left. I think Apricot has alluded to them leaving. When I recorded this yesterday, they hadn't made an official announcement, but seeing Vshojo has announced they're shutting down. They're 100% gone, though it does seem like they were already leaving because they were removed from stuff. It just, because they were on a hiatus, I don't think they knew as much what was going on, which is fair. They were on a streaming break. Oh, here we go. 9 hours ago, so Fruit has made the announcement. I've left Vshojo as a day one talent. It's truly heartbreaking that it has come to this. I had the opportunity to achieve so much in the last 4 to 5 years. I'm really anxious about becoming indie, but I'm going to continue doing what I set out to do and make fun things. So in the last 9 hours, Fruit did officially announce, but everyone already deduced that was happening. So it's good they made an announcement, but everyone did know it was happening. Especially seeing they have their come out of hiatus. I can understand this is a stressful time to balance other things, as other members are having that problem with balancing the releases they have scheduled. Jimmy also left. I mentioned in the first one, I showed some of the information about that. They left, I think, in 2022. I think they were one of the first members to leave from the timeline of things. Kason's left. I don't know when I think it's in here somewhere. Haruka left. Hanya left, Gega left, I think in April, I could be getting that wrong. Kuro left and announced Matara left earlier than Gega, so yep, they've been gone for a while. Michi has left, all the Nova girls have left, which I didn't know much about the Nova girls, honestly. Only has left that they have left, even though they only joined this year. And then we have the never debuted team, which includes Mint Phantom, which was supposed to be an idol team, I think. Following the company's collapse in 2023, it was revealed that the several VTubers were signed on over the lifetime of the company, but never debuted. Mint Phantom proposed and signed on to create an idol generation, which was included in Phoebe-chan, who passed the 2024 auditions. So pretty much, yeah, it was supposed to be an order group, and all these girls were screwed along for a year. I'm not going to go huge amount into this one because I haven't researched it properly yet, but if you want to know more about the idol group that never happened, I can make a video, but it's not happening in this video. But it's just more people that Vshojo has left down and screwed, pretty much. So before I go into all the announcements here, I am going to give a little highlights of these, and I will try and link to all the people who have made videos or statements so far. Only some have. Like, Kuro has made a video live, Michi has made a video live, Gega has made a video talking about it, even though they talked about what they left, but they didn't go a bit more into detail. But they haven't done an NDA broken statement, as in where they can really say what they want to say. Niners did a bit of a video on it, etc. Now I'll try and link anyone else I find. We do have Silverveil talks more about it, but that's after the NDA break, so I will go over the statement of what Vshojo said. It would be a video on itself going into all the replies and all the stuff people have said about this, because there are so many creators. So I'll go into this and how this relates to the graduations, airing out Vshojo's dirty laundry. So I will make a Vshojo Pacific one about the breakdown of the business side of Vshojo, because it's very complicated, but I will give the gist here that I can give you. But I don't want to go into a lot of details without doing proper, more in-depth research. And this is what we've been waiting on. This is the statement from Gunrun, which is the CEO of Vshojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company in the situation you're all witnessing. No shit. So today I'm sharing the difficult news that Vshojo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for the decision that led us to this point. Which is depressing, honestly. My point is on this is the only reason Vshojo lasted this long was because the talents kept biting their lips and hoping things would improve, because if they would have pulled this earlier, like a couple months in, they would have shut down earlier. It doesn't seem like it was Gunrun keeping it going. It was just the talents willing to put up with it. Unfortunately, I'm doing everything I can to fundraise and right the ship these past few months, but despite my best efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Some statements I will counteract this. There seems to be a lot of bullshit in here, just a heads up. Over the past 2 years, we raised over 11 million to pursue a bold talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits to achieve long-term sustainability. Our funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investments, infrastructure, contents, events, and staffing, all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their IP, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. They really toed that here, but come on, bro. A lot of people do that now, and it doesn't really cost you that much unless they leave. Everyone knows IP ownership is just a hostage situation. However, despite all our efforts, the business failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Again, we get a leak later on the splits on this, so I'll go into that over the V part, but the splits on this kind of alludes to the fact, how the hell did they run out of money? Additionally, I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the guy later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. He says this, but a lot of people highlight in other parts that he had made congratulating Ironmouse for doing it, so he was very aware that this money was being raised for charity. And I firmly believe, based on the information available to us, that we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in fundraising efforts. What I feel the truth gleaming through here is I spent it all expecting I could get it back. As in, he probably spent it thinking, oh, I can make more money. Dumbass. I made the decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences, which he's raised 11 million and somehow blew every dollar. And from some other parts of it, I'm not convinced even slightly that it was all for talent. There seems to be a lot of ego in some of the actions he's done from other talents so far. I'm deeply sorry to all the talent staff, friends, and community members who believed in our brand. You did not deserve this. Justin Gunrun. And that is where they have left it for Vshojo so far. The Gunrun has also taken the Vshojo stuff down, taken all the branding out, and it's just AFK'd again. So, at the moment, that seems to be where he's left it, and he seems to be ignoring talents. I've accidentally put on my clown face, but I guess it is fitting. Sorry, guys. I just saw this here, and this is hilarious. There's a guy that didn't know it was for charity. Charity stream Gunrun say he doesn't know. Then when you take pic with idea, bro, yes, this looks like a man that had no idea was getting raised for charity. They should have donated to the Memory Deficiency Foundation. I'm dying, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. He could have just said that the money was spent thinking we could recoup the losses in X amount of time, and it did not succeed. Make more sense than the bullshit he came up with. Like, sometimes the truth is the best answer, but that makes me think that maybe the answer is worse than even that. But as a lot of people say, it's so obvious that the Vshojo did not consult a publicist over this, which is showing that the management of Vshojo is incompetent, which in the side of running businesses. Go into Zentreya's response here. I know I said I would go into mainly the non-NDA ones on the other side. This is not her official statement on it, but it is a response to this that I think is prominent, saying she was hounding him a lot for answers. I've been trying to figure out what to say. Why did you keep dodging my messages and concerns? When I wanted to do one-on-ones, you kept dodging, or you gave me a short corporate answer. Even when I was under immense pressure from the community for answers about the auditions, and I pleaded for a statement, but your PR team, you told me it wasn't needed. You made a tiny video instead, looking like you were hurt and upset, saying sorry instead of meeting me one-on-one for my concerns, and I was left crying and frustrated. But like a fucking dog, I went back and happy to even get something from you because of, oh man, boss actually answered me. You wanted one finally when you knew everything was crashing around you. Then debuting new talents and such, even after the community kept asking about it and kept waving it off and letting me take the punches. I smiled. I fucking brushed it off and kept pushing the company because I was hopeful for new talent and bringing new people to help. Instead, I find you were hiring people without input and poaching without even the idea of truly helping them, other than financial gain. We didn't even know who you were bringing in. You and the team told us to just take it. That's crazy that they didn't even get to consult who was allowed into Vshojo. You and some people were really ready for me to throw under over and over, to be thrown under the bus over and over. Even when Amelie joined, I begged you to put out a statement regarding auditions before she announced her debut stream. You gave us the middle finger. Me and Amelie had to put out a statement because your PR team was unfit for their job. Yeah, if that's the thing. I assume they didn't have a one, and it was Amelie that came in. But they should have said, we do have a debut coming. It would have been such a tease, even if it took that long, because you want to be teasing the new team anyway. So, stupidity. Especially you don't want maybe they did want controversy before Amelie's debut, who knows. I took it all. Why did we have to say anything at all? Why did I have to keep taking the fucking damage over and over? You were hurting me well before this. You know you have. I've been pushing a company so blindly you didn't even care for me. But I'm an idiot. I kept believing. I was so excited for this. I spent sleepless nights dealing with constant harassment, and you spent money which you didn't even have without even warning us on God knows what. And you knew, don't even lie, you knew that money was for charity and was supposed to be placed to the side to be untouched. Where did $11 million go in less than 3 years even? What happened to all that money? Especially, and if that was raised, that's not profit. That's not like the money they earned. That is investor money, right? I need a businessman on here with me, because the way he worded it sounds like that's investment money, not money earned through the business, and they definitely earned money. I'm just really tired from all these years of trying to push for something that kept pushing me to the wall. I was so stupid, but I was so excited. I really trusted you. We all did. Despite everything, I don't wish you ill will. I just hope you find some way to make this right. Difficult. That's going to be a difficult task. We got Shy Lily supporting here and some other stuff in there. I won't go into it right now, but I do want to go over one important part that comes up here about where did all this money go. And some people are pushing the narrative that, oh, I'm not surprised VTuber agencies aren't profitable. The thing is, I can understand that narrative from a small agency, like a startup one, that they don't make tons of money because you don't have humongous heavy hitters that will sell out every merch or every item you put before them. That is fair. It takes investment, takes business management, to make sure you're still making a profit. But Vshojo is made up of heavy hitters. If you sell something, everyone buys it. If you do something, everyone's watching. That is the thing. Every single member of Vshojo is a huge creator. So realistically, if they did their job correctly, they would be making money, because all you have to do is release good merch, enough sponsors, because usually it's a sponsor a month or something like that, and they're making money. But the point is that they obviously were spending too much money to stay profitable, especially seeing they had Japanese branches, etc., which made the company maybe overreach themselves. It wasn't that they weren't not profitable, and maybe just because they weren't ready to do it. Because obviously they were making these decisions still in debt, which is crazy. But it seems very likely that part of the problem was they kept overreaching financially too soon when they were consistently in debt. Every single member, even the ones that left in 2023, are owed money by Vshojo still, quite a bit. And Kuro was owed money. He was only paid for stuff in June. That was from 2 years ago, and he still owed a lot of money. Michi is owed money. Gega is owed money. They're all owed some sort of financial, no matter how much. Even Niners, I'm pretty sure there's a clip of her going around talking about the fact that she is still owed for things done in Vshojo, and that she wasn't paid for a lot of things that she was supposed to be paid for. So I want to outline here that everyone who has graduated has seemed to have similar problems with Vshojo management. But I actually decided I'm going to focus mostly on Vshojo shutting down on this one, and the Vshojo, all the graduations, and do an individual video on each one, or a couple at a time, just because there is way too much information as I'm reading over this to do them justice, especially with the video evidence and all the stuff about it. But that is a small gist of what happened. There is also a lot of information about managers taking advantage of positions, etc. There is a lot of stuff, and there's just too much to go over for every single talent, as you would imagine, seeing there is years of experience with Vshojo. So we're just going to go into the responses and everything we got so far for Vshojo shutting down the graduations of everyone. You broke my heart, my spirit, and my trust. From Shy Lily, we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. Brother, you somehow been bleeding 11 mil while maintaining the most successful and biggest VTuber roster in Western EN history, and figured that all just go away on its own. Oh, to spew bullshit so confidently. What a weird way to say. So basically, I've been shitting ducks while watching the ship sink, and instead of sitting down with the talents and explaining the situation, finding ways to fix the business model, we went about hiring more and bigger talents to take in more profits to cover our incompetence. Oh, I also had no idea what the 500k was supposed to be for, and never questioned it or checked the books. Oopsies, lol. I feel so freaking terrible for your former talents. And that is the thing. It is so obviously BS that everyone is just calling them out on it, because it just sounds like I really didn't have bad intentions as I screwed you. And Haruka, we trusted you. I feel so hurt and betrayed. Kuro, oh, I still don't get it. Oh my god. Kuro is it's like my brain broken kind of person. I don't know what to say. From Alicia, how did you not know that was charity money? She was your largest talent at the company. What else are you doing if you're unaware of that? So is this the gonna say anything about his involvement, or is he busy Googling, how do I renew my law license past the deadline? For fuck's sake. Am I crazy? I thought if you were you were a licensed lawyer, contracts you made are void. Is that like in different countries? How could you not know the money was for charity? Was your CFO asleep? From Mim? Bow the Whale. This is exactly what Studio Cell and Copium Merch did to us. Pretending the ship wasn't sinking, instead of being honest, took everyone down with them. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Exactly. And when you too much in debt, stop spending money. Not stop paying your talents. Stop spending big money on like shit, bro. Like, had to stop burning through cash, and it would have been a huge help. From Rosie. Some of the money spent, which you later learned was for charity. Hello, oopsie, 5k in the wrong bucket. There's no way that was not intentional. Exactly. I 100% believe that he spent that money thinking either he was going to get it back or no one would notice. From Cottontail, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. What else would it be for, buddy? Your pockets? I'm so disappointed and tired of this. Vshojo truly lived long enough to become the villain. Yes, or as a lot of people say, it had such ironclad NDAs that we didn't know they were the villain. And there is just so many people commenting on this and talking about this. But another thing that people bring up that I wanted to bring into the Vshojo is the CFO or the lawyer, because there is some information about him, and he left Vshojo 2 months ago. And he made a statement about this too, trying to say he was not at blame and he had no idea. And a lot of people did call him out on that bullshit. And that seems to be a big part of the mismanagement, as he is featured in a lot of different people's stories about him being an all-around asshole and creep. So let me find that. Okay, so this is one of the announcements. When someone says this was the CTO, not the COO, I'm sorry, I don't have a big enough brain. I don't really know the difference. So, for the past 5 years, Vshojo has been an integral part of my life journey. Since inception, I've had the honor and privilege of working with them, of the most hardworking, intelligent team members, and have made many friends throughout the VTubing and streaming community. I'll always cherish the time we spent together. I take pride in the contribution to the growth of the Vshojo brand, helping shape what it is today through my involvement in most of the forward-facing large-scale media and the behind-the-scenes growth operations within the company. As of today, I formally stepped down from my position as CMO, departing the company to explore new creative endeavors. While this was a difficult decision, I believe it is the right for me to embark on a new chapter of creative fulfillment in my life. Thank you all for wonderful memories. See you soon. AKA, I'm escaping this sinking ship before I get fucked. Awkward. What the hell's a CMO? Someone help me. Chief Marketing Officer. Thank you. What's a COO? Chief Operation Manager. Don't judge me, guys, okay? I'm learning. Okay, so he is chief marketing. And the other person who's incriminated by this is the chief operating officer and the CEO. People being implicated in a lot of stories here. Although some is getting confused with the other here, because I don't think we have proper statements from all of them. And as a lot of people point out, they just don't believe, seeing he only left in May, that he had absolutely no idea this was happening. I feel like if you were a co-founder, you would have a vague idea. And there are some stories going around from either the COO, the CEO, or the CMO. And these are some of them. We don't really know who's who from some of it, other than the stuff that Vay says. Spreads rats on 4chan, pays money to shit talk other agencies for some reason. Sex pest harasser pretends to spray Pika face after Vshojo explodes. And in some other people's stories, mainly Vay's because it's outside the NDA, they do mention that Vshojo would go into Reddit, 4chan, and other places to spread false narratives to help in their marketing, or to make their talents look better, or to make ex-talents look worse. And seeing he is the chief marketing, I would say it was very likely him or people in his team, seeing that is kind of under marketing, so very likely that part. We don't know about the sex pest harasser because I'm pretty sure that was the COO, not the CMO, but we'll get more into that in Vay's. So looking through it, I don't know if he has a Twitter account, but the COO is the one that is the lawyer who has an expired law license, and I will try and keep these separated when we go into V's and everyone else's story, as it does get a little confusing. I said 3, but there's a CFO, which is a senior executive responsible for managing a company's financial health. Well, that guy, he's probably not good at his job. So there's the CFO, CMO, COO, and CEO. And these are so far 4 people that are responsible and give us answers on the spiraling of Vshojo. But we're going to get some more context in everyone else's stories as their NDAs goes out, because I will not go into too much more until their NDAs are all out. I'll go into Vay's first in the next videos because she has given the most information. And that'll bring us to the end on the downfall of Vshojo so far and the graduations of everyone, as that's where Vshojo's statements have left it. A lot of other things will be speculation, but we'll go into Vay's and everyone else's statements on what happened to them in Vshojo. And I think that is more fair, and to try and keep it straight of what happened to them instead of trying to condense it into one video. As we can see, it's already a very long video, as that's just not fair to them at this time. So if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and I'll catch you next time, my delinquents. Sure. What's the sussy with the wink till the comics pack I sink?